Howdy, howdy. Welcome to some more financial literacy information. Today we're going to cover checks and cash. Last thing we covered was debit cards and credit cards. Remember, a debit card is your money, a credit card is you spending someone else's money and paying them back over time. So, these two items are also your money. All right, check and cash. Check is kind of similar a little bit to debit as far as it comes from your checking account, like the debit comes from your checking account. And cash is just the one that you're familiar with as far as you've held cash before. So let's take a look. So here's an example of checks. This is kind of what a check looks like. Like you write who the check goes to, how much it's for, and then you put your signature on there. You need a identification to use a check, so you can't just use somebody else's checks. Usually there's a name and address up there, and they'll check with your driver's license or ID and make sure it matches. There's our double right-handed, double left-handed friend, double right-handed friend over here. He's holding cash. Looks like European cash. It says euro on there, but cash is just like dollar bills and coins. So checks and cash. All right, so a check is a written agreement to take money from one's bank account for a purchase. It does not happen immediately. It takes like a couple days. The person who gets the check has to take it to their bank. Their bank has to talk to the other bank and get the money. Most places no longer accept checks. It takes a while to process a check. So most places do debit now because it comes from the same place. So if you have a debit card, it works and takes money from the same place that your checking or your checks do. So who's to say the money is in the account? So if I write a check, I can write a check for $1 million even if I don't have $1 million. Of course, I'm gonna get in trouble whenever they try to cash it and they're like, this person doesn't have $1 million. So it's also you can accidentally write a check for too much if you don't have the money, and that can get you in trouble too. So here's a check. There's the name and the address, the date, the amount in writing, who the check gets paid to, and then the signature of the person. So this is basically what a typical check looks like. All of this is the bank account information. So that's another thing is a check has a lot of personal identification or like bank account information on there. So it really does tell a lot of information to whoever gets it. So it's another thing to be careful about is they have your routing number, your account number, which are two very important numbers when it comes to your bank account. All right, so cash is dollars or coins used to pay for goods and services. You can't spend what you don't have. You either have it or you don't. It's accepted almost everywhere. I think you actually have to take cash as an American business, but I don't know if that's true anymore. Not easy to keep record of what you have spent and where. Once you spend cash, it's gone. Same thing with losing cash. Once you lose cash, it's gone. Cash is untraceable. Like you lose it, you can't prove it's yours. You spend it, and no one can prove that you bought something. So if you lose cash, it's not replaceable. Lose a credit card, that's replaceable. You lose your checkbook, you could probably get that canceled and get a new one. But if you lose your cash, it's gone. So here's a $100 bill, $50 bill, $20 bill, $10 bill, $5 bill, $2 bill, and $1 bill. We don't see the $2 bill very often. There's even a $1,000 bill, but we don't see that very often either. So I don't think they even included it. But these are what our dollar bills look like in America. I believe they're changing one of the dollar bills, maybe the 20, to have Harriet Tubman one day or something, if I remember right. But that's our cash. So if you lose any of this, as you can see, there's nowhere to put your name on it or anything like that. So if I lose $100 bill, it looks like everybody else's $100 bill. All right, so that's just kind of a review on checks and cash. Cash is untraceable. Checks work kind of like debit. Checks have come out of your checking account. They take a little bit longer than a debit card. It's not immediately instant because someone has to turn it in. Cash is immediate. It goes from your wallet or your purse to someone else's hand and the cash register. So we'll talk a little bit more about this in class, and I'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye.